What's up guys, I'm Tech Guy with Monkey Kaboom and I'm here with another Photoshop tutorial. This one's going to be on how to quickly change the color of an object in Photoshop. Uh, Tech Guy, why would I need to change the color of an object in Photoshop? Well, let's say we took this photo. I didn't take this photo, but let's just say, pretend that we took this photo and the higher ups come to you and they say, "Oh, instead of that black and white, advertisement that we're gonna run on in this magazine, we're gonna make it a fuchsia pink theme. So can you change your dress to pink?" Okay, that's actually really difficult to do from black. So I'm gonna go. I've already actually went in and I've already changed her color to pink. So this is what we'll be doing, but I'm going to show you how to change it from a color first, and then we'll cover the black and white technique second. Because because her dress is the only thing that is that color in this image, it makes it really, really simple. So to jump right in here, the only thing that's kind of close to her dress color tone is probably her lips, and those are more red than magenta. So just to keep her lips out of this whole color change that we're going to do, I'm going to grab the rectangular marquee tool and I'm going to select, for the most part, her dress. Okay? And now make sure her lips are out of it. So you do this for anything. Let's say it was a car, let's say it was, a box or whatever. You do it for anything. If I just wanted to grab her shoes, I'd grab her shoes. But since her dress is the only thing that's magenta, we're going to go ahead and change the color in here. So we'll go to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. In this, we will grab the magentas tone because her dress is closest to magentas. And you see this little selection bar down at the bottom kind of gives you the primary selection and then a little bit of a feather. So you can actually adjust this by grabbing it, but it looks pretty close. Her color tone looks pretty close to where it needs to be. If her dress was blue or red or green, you'd select the appropriate, I guess, color channel, sorry. Alright, so once you have the correct color channel selected, you have the area selected that you want, you can go ahead and just move the slider. And voila. You start to get noise in certain colors, and some colors you can use better than other colors, but this is just a quick way to change your dress color. So it's fuchsia, let's say they wanted a red dress, so we're going to go more of a red color. Sorry, that was hard to get to. So there's your red color for a dress. Super quick, super easy, and it's not change your lip color because we have that selected. Another thing you can do is, let's say, for example, you don't I see a little bit of like a much more pinkish color right here along her shoulder. So I want a little bit more of this pinkish color. You can just drag that out and it'll change it a little bit more solidly. You see, it's a weird highlight there. That's why you can't use every color in the rainbow, but you can always darken it a little bit to give it a little bit more natural tone. Okay, so that's the quick way of changing her dress color. Now let me show you the more involved way. The more involved is when there is multiple of the same color in the scene. Particularly, there's a lot of blacks and grays. So the way I'm going to change this from black to an actual color is I'm going to grab my magic wand tool. Sorry, I forgot the name of it for a second. I'm going to grab my magic wand tool. And I'm going to set it to about a color tolerance of 20, just because the background, it's pretty well separated, but it's not quite separated enough. You might not even have to use the magic wand tool. You might have to go in and do a polygon selection tool, or even freehand her dress. It comes down, every situation is different, but just know that you need to select what you're wanting to change the color on. So in this case, I'm going to select her dress. So I'm going to hold Shift the entire time I am selecting her dress. So for the most part, it should grab the majority of her dress. Now when it goes into something that you don't want selected, like the background or her hair, we can Control Z, which will undo the last selection, and we can change our tolerance down to 10 or maybe even 5 to get a better selection there. So, missing that one point right there. So let's go ahead and grab the upper part of her dress. And yep, right there. See, grabbed her hair. So I'm going to actually go in, I'm going to change this. I hit Control Z and then I change this to 10, enter. And now I'm actually going to zoom in so I can get a little bit finer detail on her dress. This is a low quality image. I'm sorry for the pixelation, but when you're working with a higher resolution image, it's actually a lot easier than a lower resolution image. This one's just got a good contrast in the background. So I'm just going to go in and just select as much of her dress as I can. You don't have to get every nook and cranny, but as much as you can, the better. Like right in here and right here. Because some of it is the shadow from her hand as well, so it gets a little bit more difficult. Like that's shadow. That's a little bit of shadow that went over. Oh, I missed a spot there and missed a spot there. There we go. There we go. That looks pretty good as far as the selection goes. So we'll settle for that right now. And what we're going to go ahead and do, just because I like to make sure I'm not changing anything else in the scene, I'll go ahead and separate her dress from the background by going to a layer, new layer via copy, so we have a duplicate. So we have the dress that actually, after looking at it like this, you can see the edging is really rough on it. We have her dress and we have her, the original photo. So we'll go to the dress only layer, have that selected. Now we can go to image, adjustments, not hue saturation. You want to go to color balance because this is black. We have to add color before we can manipulate the color. Keep in mind that this is going to only add color in the same color, how do I say it, like intensity that the original is. So if you have something that's black, like there is no highlights and shadows, then it's probably not going to work. But something like this that has a lot of highlights and a lot of shadows, when I change this to red, look at that. Very quickly. Or change this into more of a, there's your purple dress. Now let's say this isn't bright enough. This actually works a little bit better than that hue saturation method because you can virtually go to, you know, just about any color you want. This one would have to darken slightly to actually make it look good, but you could go to virtually any color you want, and this fits with the lighting of the scene. Midtones is fine. You could go in and you could change the highlights and everything, but this is perfect, like exactly what we need. Because the reason we wouldn't change the shadows or the highlights because they're already light and dark like we need them to be. If you're changing something brighter, you might have to change this over to highlights, but we can give her a nice brown dress. And you could go in, you could set the exact color that you want from here, or you can set a solid color that would be easy to manipulate. Hit OK, and then go to image, adjustments, hue saturation, and I can, because this is the only thing on this layer, I'm not even selecting the preset here. I'm just going to go ahead and change your dress to whatever color I need it to be. But purple's good. I just need it brighter. So let's go ahead and make it brighter by going to Image, Adjustments, Brightness, Contrast. And then we're just going to brighten it up slightly. Maybe decrease the contrast slightly. Not much. That's actually a lot of brightness. But it works because this is actually 140%. Let's do actual pixels. That actually looks good. So there you have it, a quick Photoshop tutorial on color changing an object within an image. Now if you wanted to go in and do her shoes, you could, but you're going to have to hand draw her shoes because this image is such a low resolution. There's not enough information for the Magic Wand tool to actually grab that little sliver of her shoe right there or right here or even in between. So you'd actually have to go and hand draw that, and that would take, you know, a good solid 30 minutes to go in and hand draw out her shoe and then select her shoe that way. So I'm not going to go into it in this tutorial, but feel free to be challenged in that way. That would actually be a really good task if you're trying to challenge yourself and get good at doing this. But that's it from Tech Guy at Monkey Kaboom. Stay tuned to Monkey Kaboom for more Photoshop tutorials and Adobe tutorials, and I'll catch you in the next video.